The next definition is floor covering, and floor covering is pretty much anything that's going to be sitting on top of the floor. And I think floor covering is the difference between your subfloor and your finished floor. Let's go with that. A floor covering, I suppose, could also be a rug, but I think the definition is really going to be something that travels underneath the door. A rug doesn't. I don't think DHI uses the term subfloor nor the term finished floor. That's just kind of how I know it. But interpreting floor covering, that tells me that you've got a gas station and it's poured concrete floor. Well, on top of that, they're not going to leave it concrete. They're going to put vinyl tile down, or something's going to go down. Whether it be vinyl tile or epoxy or hardwood or laminate or whatever it is. Something is going to go on top of the subfloor. And I think that's what they're driving at with floor covering. Now, why is it important to really grasp floor covering? It's because of the concept behind it, meaning where's the frame installed in terms of on what surface? Is it installed on a subfloor that you're then going to add a floor covering to and cope around the frame and then noticeably impact your ultimate clearance dimension, the dimension from the bottom of the door to the top of the finished floor or whatever is directly below when construction is complete? Or like in a precast building, you know, that frame's going to sit right on top of that concrete and you're going to put an aluminum threshold over it. Well, is the aluminum threshold the floor covering? I wouldn't call it that. Even though it's from the bottom of the door directly below and it goes through the opening, I'd call it a threshold. The point of looking at it from those two different angles is to say whatever's done on the floor covering, whatever's done on top of the subfloor, if anything, needs to be taken into account. Let's switch to the screen view and we'll look at the definition. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, floor covering. Any material applied to the top of a floor. For additional information, see HAMA Tech Note, HAMA-810, TN01-03, defining undercuts. Okay, so that's all they're giving us. Let's just copy this and let's do an internet search for it. NAM, National Association of Architectural Metal Manufacturers. I've searched for this document in the past, and as a result, I'm coming up first on my search. This is the governing document. So they're talking about floor covering. Floor covering, any material applied to the top of the floor that extends under the door in its closed position or under the door as it swings to its fully open position. Well, by that definition, could certainly be a rug as well. The problem with a rug is, you know, something to wipe your shoes on. The problem with that is it really impacts your undercut requirement. And actually, rugs is where I sell a lot of automatic door bottoms. You've got a floor. You have stairs. You have a door. Door swings in. You have a rug. That clears. You've got some wood structure out here, and you've got a residential threshold. Boy, you would sure really like to have a door sweep here. Some people put it here. Now, it's not going to work. It's going to drag over your rug. Automatic door bottoms can fit right here on the exterior side. When they're activated, they come down and seal against that. When the door is open, that snaps back up into the housing, allowing you to clear the rug. Anyway, so here in Figure 2, they're showing a floor. I'm going to call that subfloor. The bottom of the frame is sitting on top of the subfloor. In Figure 1, there is no floor covering. This could be your precast concept. And let's say that the standard undercut is 3/4 inch. Well, if you add some floor covering to it, is a standard 3/4 inch undercut still going to work? And that's the whole point of understanding floor covering, is what you're left over, based on the sill section of that opening for your project, okay? Or do you have to make an adjustment? And another way that I can give you an idea would be a panic or latch track threshold like this. Well, this bad boy is going to work out pretty well with a 3/4 inch undercut. There's no doubt about that. It's ideal, actually. It's pretty tall, 1 inch. However, you're going to see thresholds like the good old S483A, same concept, same width, just way, way shorter in its height. A standard 3/4 undercut's not going to work. So to extend the concept of, hey, this is why you need to know floor covering, not only because of a floor that would be put in, but a threshold, which is not a floor covering, I don't think, but maybe they're going to say that it qualifies as one. You're going to need to tug that door length longer. Rather than an 83 1/8, you're probably going to want an 83 1/2 inch tall door for a 7.0. So knowing the floor covering, meaning knowing what's happening at the sill section, this would be a good sill, this is a sill section, is going to inform you about what's the totality of what's happening at this opening at the sill. The sill is tricky in the sense that you see a head section, but you're not looking for any gotchas there. At the sill section, you most definitely are. Now, switching gears on you, we did a job for a museum for a really large multinational contractor. Nice guys to do work with, actually. We provided a whole bunch of hardware, and all that hardware got shipped to Germany. And it was Blumcraft hardware, latching, egress compliant devices. And these are the drawings of the doors, what they were building. Museum of Fine Arts. This was 6 years ago. Well, 5 years ago. And yeah, you better believe, well, let me back up. What I was providing was the latching hardware. I was also providing door pulls. And they've got in-ground closers, in-ground door operators. And you better believe I was looking at the sill section to say, okay, what is going on with all of this? I had to be really sure that what I was doing in terms of the length of my pull handle, because they were drawing it extremely tight down to the floor in this instance, was going to work okay. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So the sill section mattered to me on this job because we needed to make sure that the latching of the Blumcraft was going to be appropriate. And the undercut was really important for us to know. And this is a really phenomenal example of what we're talking about. This is going to be your subfloor, and they're putting a threshold onto here. NGP 1013 SS. Okay, so the next thing I'm looking at is a stainless steel I actually remember those. Really expensive. There were lots of these thresholds. This 1013 SS, that's 1/4 inch tall. Great, back to what we were looking at. So we're trying to figure out what is our clearance. So we got, from the subfloor, we got a 1/4 inch of threshold and another 1/4 inch to the bottom of the door. Now, all of that is also super important when you are determining where you need to reinforce this custom-made door with this, whatever it is, I-beam or something, for the depth of this inverted channel is what it becomes. Because the 1/4 inch requirement, or the 1/2 inch requirement, is directly related to how deep that needs to go for this offset arm for this Dorma BTS 80. How deep you prep that is related to what you're doing here and what you're doing here with the NGP. So looking at the sill detail is super important. Floor covering is a part of understanding what's happening there. This was a really large dollar job and there weren't many openings. We built a epic crate and it was air freighted to Germany so that they could build the doors basically around the hardware. So that was, other than dealing with Blumcraft and their ability to eclipse all others in the field of being inane, to that regard, they are pure champions of the most prestigious lineage. The job was good, other than that. Floor stilt is the next one. I know what they are. I know what they're used for. I would use a adjustable floor anchor for this. Let's talk about floor stilts. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.